A bit of progress just now, getting the gyro tabs in. Now, if you remember the old ones, oh, you probably don't remember, but they used to have a clip on over the top of this thing here. These here just screw in. You can see the Allen head. Got a little grub screw for that, and the little hole where that fits into. Goes straight in there like that. Dunk, and screw that in. They're a little bit hard to get in because they're very fiddly, but they work well. We've got the barrel adjuster for the cable, rear cable in. We've got the seat clamp, integrated seat clamp. Okay, so got the bolt in, and I found out that we've got these little hodly dads at the back for adjusting the back wheel. Chain tensioner is built in. That is absolutely fantastic. The gyro goes on. Well, we can do away with this spacer washer because we want to make sure that this isn't too high up. With that spacer washer, we're sitting up here like this. And you can see that with the bolt, you don't want that bolt here. We need that bolt to be around about at the top of this is the ideal spot. So we don't need that spacer. So then we've just got the gyro plate on. Flip that up, these two little dots to the front. And then the stem goes on like that. So you can see how that's starting to look. All that nice silver going in. All right, so this is your compression bolt, and I've put some grease on it. And that threads into there. This is like the old stem bolts. Remember, you used to tighten up your stem bolt, and when you tighten it up too much, bloody thing would strip out. Well, this is like your stem bolt. Well, actually, no, not really. Anyway, this thing here compresses the headset and makes the headset nice and tight. So if your headset's loose and feeling a bit loose, that's got to be tightened. These bolts here are the ones that hold the stem from going side to side. So if this gyro plate's a bit loose, sometimes it goes a little bit like this, it means loosen these off, clamp that down a bit, tighten these back up. The handlebars go to the side a little bit. It's these that need to be tightened up. If the headset's feeling a bit loose, it's that needs to be tightened up. But you can't tighten that up if these are tight. You've got to loosen them off a bit, tighten that, then tighten them back up again. This is the bottom bracket. Sealed bearings. Now they get pushed into here. I've greased up here on both of these. These I'm going to need to use maybe a vise to push them in. They don't feel like they're going to go in easy. I just gave it a try, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to resist a little bit. So they're going to need a good push in. So I'll get them in the vise. And this little thing here, I tested, and you can see there's a little lip inside there. That little lip there is what the bearings hit against. And this piece sits like this. Sits like this inside. So hang on, we got it there for you. So you can see how that sort of sits inside. That hits against that bit of the bearing and stops the bearings from wanting to fall into each other when you tighten them up. Now I measured that, and that is actually a precise measurement from that lip to the lip on the other side. Some bikes I've had where I've had to try to put these little washers inside, and that's complicated, or I've had to cut this tube down. But it looks like we've progressed in design and manufacture to have these as a precise measurement to fit inside there. So I'm going to use the vise and put these bearings in. Right, well, I'm getting the bearings put in. You can see they're pressing in. You hear them going away as they're going in, moving along. See how pretty tight they are, right? We're getting there. which is a good fit for sealed bearings. That didn't do what I thought it was going to do, and it was, when it was in there, it was rattling around, tick 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 tick. There's a couple of mil, so I got to put a couple of them little washers in. Had to knock that one out. Bloody amazing, got it sorted. It just needed, like, I think it was like that much in there. I think it's just because the bearings didn't seat in all the way to that little lip that I was explaining. To stop that little washer falling down into here, I've put that through, and then we put that over the top, which came to be right on the bearings, and gave it a good hard, and she's in, mate. Bloody beauty. You can see it sitting in there, and the axle, the spindle will go through that. Right, well, we've got the cranks happening. There's the spindle, and then we'll get that in. See this, but it's got like a little wedge system in it. So I'll take this out, I'll show you. See that? So when you tighten it up, it squeezes together, clamps to the bar. High-tech stuff here, mate. High-tech bloody stuff. Here we go. Sorry, there we go. So we're getting that on. So we got them on. I'll tighten them up. And then we got the grips. There you go, mate. Got the grips on. So these are the covers that go over this. And you can see it's machined like that. And it's to sit on that bearing. But I found that some of them, when you tighten down, this bit ends up rubbing on here. So you see that fits over, and that's not a bad fit. But once you give a bit of a tighten down, so I've come to the point where what I normally do is chuck this little thin washer on there, and you stick that on as well. It just gives a little bit more buffer in that, just so that it's not gonna scrape on the outer of that bearing. But when you crank down cranks, you'll notice how that is nice and level. Like that there is really nice and level. Perfect for this. Now there's a little washer that goes on the inside of that to make the same crank spindle size. You also get one of these, but that's for a smaller spindle. So we've got that little washer on the inside, and that goes inside that round bit where the spindle goes. But that, you don't need any washers or anything on that. It's perfectly, that just goes dunk straight to it. All right, we got some grease on the spindles. Just does up in there like so. I'm just slowly doing that up, and we're checking to make sure there's clearance here if we want enough. So I'll get that done up soon. Get the other one put on. We may need to put some little washer spaces in here. Don't know yet. Don't want that too close to the chainstay because you don't want that clipping or hitting. So we'll get that sorted. All right, and we got some grease on the crank bolt as well, and we put that one into there. Yep. And that's an 8mm Allen key to do up. Got the front brakes on tonight. Haven't put the cable in. Cable's coming through the bottom here. Out of that, I haven't put the cable in, just in case I've got to make any adjustments up the top here once I get the gyro sorted. So I'll get the back brakes on, get the gyro running, attached to make sure that our gap and everything's running smooth through here. I don't want to connect the front brakes in case I've got to disconnect them and pull it out again. TO then, look at this. So we've made some adjustments and we've got some things done. So first of all, running through the back brake, we've put some silicone spray into the cables. We've adjusted the brakes. Big improvement we've made here was that these brake pads we got with the Colony brakes, very long here, and then this gap very small. So I've put some fly brakes on, which I've had, and these actually thread into the brake pad, not having the bolt on the brake pad. So we've gotten heaps of clearance here. So this is good. Indeed, it's collected a little bit of dust sitting around while we're getting it built. We have adjusted the springs on the front brakes to have it a little bit nicer feel, so it's not so tight. And we've put in some grease in here, so that cable's running on some grease to help it slide. And we got this adjusted quite well now. Everything's running pretty good with that. So we're looking good at the moment. Now the only thing we need to do is work on the free coaster because of the pedal slack. You'll see that that is a lot of pedal to turn. I'll go this way. There's a lot of pedal to turn for engagement, so we're going to pull the back hub apart, put some washers in there, and make it so it's a bit more direct. Apart from that, it's looking good. Got the free coaster apart. This here is the hat washer, and with the free coaster you get these slack adjustment washers. These are going to go just here, and this bearing sits back there. So this is further that way. So this is how you adjust the slack. We are here with the one and only Freestyle Now squad member number 2, Georg Molnar. How are you, George?
Well, man,
good.
I'm blown away.
The bike, the OZ One.
I've made it back to Perth and I can see it in the flesh.
All right, so we're going to run through what we got here and tell you a little bit of story about this. So most of the stuff here is Colony products because the OZ One was produced by Colony. I think they've stopped making them now. So I'll run through some of this stuff here. We've got some generic grips because, George, we couldn't find orange grips online to match the pedals and the seat because we wanted to match the sticker. Originally we wanted to go with green, right? But yeah, we couldn't get that kind of green. It was all dark green. So we got some generic grips. We got some Hardy the Puppy bars. We went with these ones because it's got this little crossbar, how it comes down like this, kind of a bit more old schooly looking.
Yeah.
Colony Exxon stem. It's a short reach stem. Coming through to the front here, we got the Colony detangler gyro, Colony brakes, the Brethren brakes, and the Alex Haim sweet tooth forks.
Ooh.
And I think these here are at about a 25mm offset. We've got some chrome Colony rims. Where's that? Where's that? There it is. Check that, chrome Colony with some Colony hubs and some nice stainless spokes. We're also running the Exxon peg because it's silver to match the chrome. That's pretty much the front end, George. And we've got the Brethren brakes, front and rear. These things pull very nicely. Now I had a little bit of a trouble on the front cable. Actually, I haven't replaced this zip tie yet. That was what I had to do last night. I completely forgot. Don't put your foot in the front tire until we fix that one up.
Yeah.
All right. So that's for the front end. We got the double top tube because George wanted something old schoolish kind of feel, right?
Yeah. Well, and look and feel.
Yeah, look.
Reminiscent of my '84 Master.
So then the seat post we've got from Anchor BMX, all the way from Melbourne. So you got a bit of Melbourne on here, mate.
Thank you.
That's good. Now the seat is this Mission, and it was a mission too to get this seat. Now this seat is a stealth seat. So there's no bolt underneath. George is looking at it going, how the zap and
boomerangs is that? How do you adjust the angle of it?
I had to get an Allen key head
yeah,
on top of an extension, and go through the middle of the seat post to get to the bolt that's inside. So if you want to adjust this angle, You got to take the seat post out.
Yeah.
And undo from inside.
Nice.
Now this seat had to come all the way from America because we couldn't get an orange seat.
God damn.
Yep, it was. It took ages to get. But the seat matches the pedals, which are generic pedals as well because they're orange. We got the Colony compact disc. We've got a, I think it's a tall order chain from memory. On the back, we've got the Colony Brethren brakes running through like this. They're at the bottom, and let's just pull the brakes because everyone wants to see. Yes. Cool. Now the problem I had here, I had the Colony brake pads on. Now the bolts came out pretty
way too far.
So what I've did is I used the fly brake pads I had, and these screw into the brake pad. Yep. On the back here we've got the Colony rims, Colony free coaster, and the Colony excellent pegs. And that is pretty much, oh, and we forgot the Colony cranks.
165.
Yes, they are. Nice and short, keep them out of the way. And that's pretty much the bike. Oh, and tires. We actually are running Animal Tom White wall tires. Now these, as far as I know, they don't make anymore, so I'm lucky I had some. The white wall tires I thought would look good because of the white.
Absolutely.
And I think it sets the bike off so well, George.
Yes, it does.
And that's pretty much it.
I'm blown away. Don't know what to say.
Blown away, don't know what to say.
Keep that for later. Wow.
All right, George's first pedal.
Oh. Strange feeling coming from 26 world.
A 26 are down to a 20.
26 down to 20 is a bit shocking. I think I don't want to ride my 26 for a couple of months and only roll on this.
So the seat's at the right height so you can do balance tricks.
Yeah. Just bend my knees without them being too sore.
Mm-hmm.
Just bend my knees to sit on it. So that's cool. Wow. It's meant to be. This is meant to be the middle. Whoa. Okay.
Now you got clear brake pads.
Gotta work them in.
They'll squeak, but you don't need a bell on your bike. You just put your brakes on and people will jump out the way.
Let's see if it works. Hey. Oh, okay. That works better than a bell.
They're super grippy. Man, your brakes are going to work on the spot. You pull them on hard and you'll skid.
Tighten them a bit.
So yeah, there you go. Let's get the X up in there then.
Integrate into the frame. Oh my god. Wow. What do you say to that?
Well, your shirt matches, bruz.
That's what I'm wearing this shirt for, bro.
Whoa.
I am blown away. I don't know what to say.
It's amazing looking bike, right? We were good with the orange.
If it was up to the looks, yeah, it'd be 150 out of 100. We'll have to see who the rider is on this thing.